Aries, Ali from Indigo Ascension. Welcome to your weekly quick read for the week beginning January the 25th through to the 31st. Now, this is week 2 of the final 2 weeks of January that we talked about last week. That will be a little bit more intense, certainly, than the first couple of weeks of January have been. And in many ways, January and February sets the tone for the remainder of the year. Does it mean that we're going to be feeling continually pulled in multiple directions with all this air energy really pushing us to expand the reaches of our mind and our perceptions? Because that is the gift of 2021, is mind mastery, is to really get to the heart of the matter, that we really are our own master creators. Yeah, it is our self-perceptions that define what we experience in many ways. So with a lot of this heavy Aquarian energy, I want to focus on where all this light is being shifted, okay, which will include the Mercury retrograde. So we have, as far as a wrap-up goes, this week we have a few significant conjunctions with Pluto, with Venus and the Sun, all condensing in Aquarius. We also then have Mercury retrograde happening in Aquarius. Okay, so there's this massive spotlight in all these Aquarian house themes of your life, and it's going to be different for every zodiac. Conversely, on the other side, or the opposite end of the zodiac, is the shadow aspects of that. Like our attention, our desires, our focus may be in these Aquarian, and for you Aries, it's going to be 11th house matters, where you will notice a lot of activity. However, there are deeper truths found in the shadows, okay, across the board within your 5th house. And there's something here about perhaps the shadow healing you may have done last year. So that's how I'm going to structure this week's quick reads. By all means, go back and have a look at last week's. Many in the collective are still deeply integrating this, okay? So full moon in Leo. A lot of Aquarian conjunctions, okay, with the planets Venus, Pluto, and Saturn as well. Did I say Jupiter? We're going to be experiencing activity there. We also obviously still have that Uranian energy at play in many ways as well. All right, my lovely Aries, back to your specific quick read. So there's a lot of light, a lot of Aquarian era of light within your 11th house. Your 11th house, primarily, it rules your connections, your friendships, more importantly, the role you have always played in other people's lives. In the shadows, opposite the table, we've got to focus on your 5th house, which is where this full moon in Leo is going to, so Leo is opposite Aquarius. That's why it represents a shadow aspect, okay? You're going to be experiencing this full moon in your 5th house, and the 5th house talks about romance, creativity, our natural creative expression. Where do you, and in very practical ways, where do you feel the role you have played, okay, or how you are seen by others is impacting your ability to redefine? All right, there is deeper healing here when it comes to 5th house elements: romance, creative expression, joy, genuine engagement and fun, releasing the inner essence of what is trying to come out, okay? And there may be a lot of big focus. There might be shockwaves and alarm bells coming up, you know, as far as feeling trapped in an old version of yourself, okay, as perceived by others. And there's this new version of you trying to come through, hence the weekly energetic themes. When it comes to all of this cosmos, like I like to think of it as a recipe, you know, on deeper levels, we know that there is going to perhaps be many Arians out there that desire this new creative expression of self, this new desire for romancing self through life. It doesn't have to involve anyone in particular. You could literally be an Arian that is having you know, challenges within intimacy, romantic expression, not having time to be able to experience that because of the role you play and the obligations you may have. Take it however it resonates. The 11th house area of your life may spark an obvious need that you have for 5th house matters, okay? So let's take a look at the shadows. All right, there is communication here, Aries, in the realms of love, in the realms of finance, and maybe communications are or not sort of resonating to where you would like them. Notice the triggers, notice what needs healing, notice what is within yourself that you would sort of like that you would ideally like a practical new beginning in, okay? But also be mindful that we are always manifesting with the Magician underneath further, okay? So the Page of Pentacles has shown up to support Eight of Wands energy. This is about falling in love with life again. This is about giving ourselves permission to fall in love. More importantly, where is our focus and is it practical? Okay, let's take a look at 11th house matters, where you're going to be noticing a lot of activity and conjunctions. There is no ignoring this, and with the Venus at play, it very much in many ways is going to identify for you, because Venus rules love, it rules our creativity, our creative expression, it rules our love language, okay, our experience of love to date, what needs to change. More importantly, is it us, because we are always the common denominator. All right, Aries? With all of this Aquarian focus, it's happening within, okay, your 11th house, where there's going to be a desire to move towards more peace. Maybe you're not experiencing much peace. Maybe you do not find resonance anymore in the role you have always been known by, okay? 11th house matters will always focus on our role as a parent, a husband, a wife, a part, like the version of you have always played. It literally is, there's this desire to reinvigorate this area of your life, okay? So again, whatever you sort of have healed, are still healing in the realms of romance, is definitely going to shift and create a focus within 11th house, okay? So in many ways, I could look at this as an energy healer and go, you know what, just because as an Aries I've always played a certain role, or people have perceived me in a certain way, there's going to be this deeper desire, even a frustration. So notice the fragility of emotions under the Leo full moon, where you don't feel seen to be who you want to be, no longer wanting to be seen as you were. Okay, again, there are practical opportunities to really start a base here, to get grounded in first steps, concepts that could literally be communications. I'm not that person anymore. This is who I am. This is what I want now. Okay, so again, it is about moving towards peace and wanting to avoid conflict, or the desire to experience less choppy waters. I've also pulled a crystal card for you guys, and it is Muscovite. Muscovite is all about reflection, okay, flexibility and deeper insight. All right, so pay attention to what's being triggered, what's being raised within your 11th house networks, and clearly identifying, because, you know, our relationships, how we are seen by others, not, you know, when it comes to self-empowerment, not that we're going to place heavy emphasis on that, okay, but it is valuable in the sense that it is a teaching tool. You know, how we're perceived by others can be completely different to how we genuinely perceive self, or choose or desire to be perceived. Hence, we can really do deep shadow work and look at what and where we can change. Alrighty, Muscovite is a highly angelic stone, Aries. It has strong mystical connections and reveals all that is necessary for our spiritual growth. The pink variety is most used for angelic contact. It opens the heart to visions and stimulates raising the love energy to higher levels. It inspires intuitive and psychic skills, and it reveals all that is problematic with humanity. So it helps us recognize all aspects of ourself and bring the unconscious behaviors into the light to be seen. All right, the balancing essence of this stone works well in all aspects of healing and relieving diseases. In this way, it promotes healing and restful sleep. It is particularly useful in detoxification processes such as fasting, and strengthens the functions of the kidneys and pancreas. Drawing this card, Aries, indicates it is time to step outside of yourself and see yourself and your situation clearly. Do you live your life with conscious reflection of your actions and motivations? If not, it is time to listen, absorb, and reflect. Maybe someone within 11th house circles are identifying something here where there is an invitation to deepen authenticity as far as your connection to self, your connection to the version of you wish to be moving forward, and how you can manifest practical new beginnings that feel like a victory, that are no longer within turbulent waters of the shadows, okay? Because the desire this week is peace, more importantly, peace of mind. Okay, communication is an option, but I'm feeling it's going to be like after a time where you have withdrawn and decided how that communication will be structured moving forward. You know, the version of you wish to communicate and embody moving forward. All right, Aries, that was your quick read for the week. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so by heading above to the shop link, where you'll also find astrology products as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do like, share, subscribe, and share it with your other empath, intuitive, and sensitive friends. Until next week, take care.